Welcome to another show of Walk With Me. I'm Tyler Burgess in Eugene, Oregon, and we are going to walk across England, coast to coast. From Eugene, we flew into Manchester, England, and we took the train and the bus out to St. Bees on the Irish Sea. The first day, the first group had a ride in the horse trailer to the start at St. Bees. After the first group finished the walk, I came back and took a group of 4 people on the identical walk. We dip our boots in the Irish Sea. As you can see, it's a little cloudy and misty here. And we start. It's going to be nearly 200 miles. And as you can see, some of the weather is challenging, as is the terrain. The first 5 miles of this coast-to-coast hike are along the cliffs overlooking the Irish Sea, and then we go inland to the charming villages. We're walking underneath an old railroad trestle. It's been converted to a bikeway, and here's some bike art along the way. The sun finally came out. Every night we stay in a beautiful B&B or old hotel, and we meet nice people along the way. Somebody carries our luggage for us every day, and we just take lunch and water and enjoy the countryside. Every trip has a fashionista, and Jane was certainly it today. This is called Innerdale Water. It's a big lake we're walking across, and we're going to walk out the head of that valley. This is the second day of our hike. We meet a number of people from different countries on this hike. On the trip, I keep a sketchbook diary, which is fun to share with you. We're now going over Grey Knots Pass. We'll be going over to the Honister Mine, which is down in the valley. Truly gorgeous country. So it's the end of the second day, and we're feeling a little weary and need of a pick-me-up. These 3 ladies are from Tennessee who joined me in England. The first tour I ever organized and led was this England coast-to-coast hike in 2003. 12 women came with me, and it was right here that I celebrated my 54th birthday. On my trips, we always take an extra day in Grasmere and go visit the home of Beatrix Potter. And here's the farmer who caught Peter Rabbit. This year, I'm celebrating my 65th birthday while walking across England. It's always interesting to see how remote this walk is, but every night we stay in beautiful accommodations. As you can see, we have wonderful food. This is an old stone circle. Who knows why it's here or what they did? We've arrived at Shap Abbey in time for a leisurely lunch and a stroll around the ruins of this old Carthusian monastery, now in ruins. This is an old marketplace, and between those pillars once it was open. And then they would have like a Saturday market every week. Well, they had all sorts of ways to help people behave themselves or to punish people. Fortunate we're just playing, but these are real stocks. This is the church in Orton. This was for a railroad, as they once hauled limestone out of these hills. And this is an old limestone kiln. We had terrific meals and terrific desserts. Queen Catherine was the first wife of Henry VIII, and she had a daughter, Mary. Mary became the Queen of Scots. She had a son named James, and James became the King of England, and he also commissioned the King James Bible. And he was born in Edinburgh, Scotland. We're now hiking through the North York Moors. And look what we have come upon, and we are going directly to the tea garden. We also take an extra day in Kirby Stephen just to catch our breath, do some laundry, look at the little town of Hartley. From here, we only have 106 miles left. There are 9 stacks of stone up here called the 9 Standards. No one knows where they came from, who built them, or why they're here. These are stone hay barns. We've come out of the Yorkshire Dales and we're walking through the Borrowdale Valley. Notice on this old bridge how the edges lean outward. It's so a mule carrying a pack could cross that without bumping his load on the bridge. There's a steam railway they still run here in the summer for tourists. This is Brian and Judy from Tasmania, Australia, and I was to make a trip the next year to Tasmania, Australia, and they invited me for lunch. We end our big trek in Robin Hood's Bay. We dip our boots in the water and throw in the stones that we picked up at St. Bees. After our trip, we go and spend a day in York, England. You can see why we do. It's so charming. It has an old part of the city to it. Now, between these two trips that I gave when we walked across England, I took some extra days to relax in Manchester and thoroughly enjoyed the city. It's just beautiful, and I stayed at a hotel along one of these canals. On Sunday, they had a bike day where they closed the road to traffic. Here's a statue of Alan Turing, the father of computer science. These are the looms, and these are the cards that set up the looms, and they became the idea for the computer. Thank you for joining me, Tyler Burgess, on my fourth and fifth and surely my last trip hiking across England coast to coast. It's nearly 200 miles.